much, Megadeth. Hey YouTubers! I've tried to do a couple of videos of this last week, but just kind of get lost a bit. This is BC Rich NJ series made in Japan, 1983. It's quite easy to read the serial numbers in these, it's just R83, blah, blah, blah. So, 1983. This is a bich, spelled B-I-C-H, in pink, or sort of magenta, I think I've decided what I'm going to call the colour. I don't really know how well it shows up in the video. I'm trying to look at the video just now. It's sort of that colour. It looks lighter in the video than it does. It looks more pinky in the video than it does in real life. In real life it's much darker. But so I just bought this, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, something like that. I got it in bits. It was just a neck and the body. Everything else I've had to put on myself. It was cheap. The guy who had it before me had a Floyd Rose on it. It wouldn't have originally had a Floyd Rose. It originally had a Strat bridge, or a Stratty bridge like this one. So it had a lock and nut on it. It had EMG active pickups in it, which I don't think existed in '82. He said they were original to the guitar, and it's like, I don't think you got active pickups in '82 or '83, but maybe you did. So I've had to put all the bits in myself. I had to do a wee bit of work on the nut. This had a headstock brake at some point, so it was very cheap. But I quite like headstock brake guitars because, although it affects the value of a guitar a lot, if it's done properly and you can kind of tell when it has been, it doesn't make it play any different, or probably stronger than it was before. Right, so the tuners are just ones out of my parts box. Actually, I bought them from eBay. I bought a pile of stuff, a box of someone's old guitar memorabilia, and what I've just noticed is the tuners look exactly the same as the ones that are just got on a Godin yesterday. Whatever they are, they look exactly the same. So it's possible they're Godin tuners. I don't know if Godin made their own or whether they're just, sort of relatively good quality tuners from 20 years ago. Aye. The bridge, which I'm going to be replacing shortly, you can see if you look about, there's some holes round about it, but it's been takes two. There's holes for the two pins for a knife edge bridge for the Floyd Rose that was in it. But I didn't use that. I used the 6 holes for the Strat type bridge. It's just a cheapy Strat bridge. It doesn't have a big block on the back. It's that one, one that's made out of sort of what old Matchbox cars have been made out of, sort of pewtery poured alloy as opposed to being metal. So I'll probably get a better one. Just I don't know. Whether it makes a difference, I don't know. I mean, you always see it. More expensive ones have got a bigger block in the back. I don't know if it makes any difference. But I've gone expensive from some of the other bits. I bought myself a couple of pickups as well. That is I even wrote them down on a bit of paper because I took photos of them before I put them in. It's a DiMarzio DP155 that I put in the bridge. Which was a wee bit annoyed. I bought two pickups. One of them was a DiMarzio and one of them was a Japanese DiMarzio looky one from a site just from eBay. They're damn cheap for what they were, and it was a Japanese one that looked like a DiMarzio, with the hex poles on it and stuff. Whereas that, it says DiMarzio in the back, but in the front it just looks like a normal pickup, which is fine. That's nice. I really like the DiMarzio I've got in this. I'll put it in this West tone. There's only got one pickup. I needed the pickup from that to put in another guitar, so I bought this for a while ago for cheap, and I really like it. I've always been a bit for being anti-snob with pickups. It's like you don't need DiMarzios, just put in not any old crap. The stock pickups you get in like Epiphones and stuff are crap. I'll give you that. But once you start getting up a wee bit in the range, you start getting good. It's like just pick up guitars that are lying about. The MMK45 ones I've got in this Vantage, which are stock, are fine, brilliant. They're maybe not as good as DiMarzios. Well, they're as good. They're a slightly different sound, but they're the same league. That's fine. Back in the day, sometimes you get guitars that have been built with the whole guitar is as good as they could make it. That's when the pickups are obviously going to be all right. It's like Washburns and all these things do that as well. It just depends whether it's how high up the range it is. I think really shit pickups. Back in the sort of 70s and 80s, you get quite a lot of really shit pickups and your sort of cheap plywood guitars, but the higher up ones, once they started getting good, they would have had good ones. I'd imagine this one would have had, I've got a couple other BC Riches, they've got what I think were DiMarzios, I didn't say DiMarzio on the back and the BC Rich written on the front, like in the middle, not on the side. I still not actually found out what they are. They were in my Mockingbird, but they're good. And this pickup here is my pal Michael's, who bought it in America quite a long time ago. It's a Seymour Duncan, and I looked it up as well. It's got SEYL written in the back, which means it was wound by someone called Lydia Daniel. Whether it's a girl or not, I don't know. And it's called a Seymourizer. So it's a Seymourizer in the neck. I always remember Michael bought the set of the two, and when he got them back, he put them in his Jackson. The bridge one didn't work, so it was binned. It's like, oh, if I could go back 20 years and say, don't bin it, I'll fix it. But it's been binned, so I got the neck pickup, and I may one day have to give it back to him, but I'm using it just now. I always hated it. I've had it in about 10 different guitars, and it's just for metal, you know, like Megadeth and stuff like that, and depends which guitar you put it in. You know, I had it in it wasn't so bad in the RG, in fact it was pretty good in the Ibanez RG. I had it in one of my double necks, I had it in a telly, and you know, it's like, it wasn't for them, it was for a bitch, or something like this. Yeah, so that was the DiMarzio and the bridge. This is the Seymourizer. So this guitar is a bolt-on neck. Really annoyed. See that chip there? I just did that. It wasn't there the other day. I dropped another guitar against it when it was sitting there just the other day, and I didn't think it had done anything, and when I picked it up, that big chip just fell out, so I'm really pretty annoyed about that. This, unlike quite a lot of these pointy shaped guitars, actually sits on the floor nicely. Mockingbird's really shit at that. It's like, although, you know, if you're playing a guitar that's really cool shaped and stuff, you do sometimes have to give up some things, and with a Mockingbird the thing you have to give up is leaning it against your amp, because the bottom of it's kind of that shape, so it doesn't sit. This doesn't balance perfectly. It wants to sit horizontally, but it's a very light guitar, and although it looks quite big, like from certain angles, when you're playing it, it feels tiny. This bit here is really, really thin, and it's like big cutouts. It's not really holding tune because I've been messing about with the tremolo. Maybe if I pull it back up. That's alright. Yeah, so I've been playing this the last couple of weeks. I just stuck in a 3-way switch with the wrong coloured white tip on it. Had this great idea 6 months ago. I bought a packet of black switch tips because my pal Andy wanted one for his guitar. So I bought a packet, and then I thought, last month I thought, oh, right, I'm going to buy some 3-way switches. So I bought ones with white tips on them, thinking that I can just put the black tips on if I want them, which means I can choose. They don't fit, there's different sizes, so I'm stuck with a white one. I need to buy more black ones. It's not that bad. And these aren't the correct volume knobs, these are ones off an amp, I think. I quite like them though. Right, so I had it wired up last week, or just when I've been playing this, just with a volume and the 3-way switch, because that's really all you need. As I showed you that telly with the one pickup in it, it's like bridge pickup, one volume. Feels very liberating. If you've never tried it, it's having one pickup is fantastic. It's just like the other, you know, all the fancy stuff you don't need. I watched saw Black Sabbath this year, their third ever last gig or whatever it was, from right at the front, and Tony Iommi only ever used the bridge pickup, so he does a whole gig with one guitar using the bridge pickup. That's good enough for me. He's the man. Also, I noticed that, see, between songs at the quiet bits, like if he was playing War Pigs, he would go and then turn the volume down, because if you left it up, if they went, it would just be feedback. So it was like every quiet bit in the song, he would be like that with the volume control, which really impressed me. It's like, I thought he'd have some sort of switch or something like that, but it's just like when you're a man, you just do it rock style. Right, So I stuck in another 2 pots to fill in the holes basically, just a tone for each pickup. And while I was in there, I've forgotten what I've done now. Yeah, so they're both push pulls, and I believe this one is a coil split, which I'm going to find out. Right, so that's a bridge and humbucker. That's it in single coil. Single coil. It's a dual coil tap. I was going to put a coil tap on each one, you know, one for each pickup, but I decided the chances. I've got a telly that does that. It's quite good actually. Sometimes having like the neck humbucker and the bridge. I think I decided to go for both of them. So this should be sort of like a telly. With less distortion. May not still be 100% in tune. Yeah. Right, so that's the split mode. That's the neck pickup, the Seymour riser, and I really don't understand why more guitar companies don't put coil splits in, because you don't need to use them. If you've got humbuckers in, it's like, oh, I don't like that sound, don't pull the switch out, that's fine, it's there. And in reality, these switches, when I'm buying them from China and they're a couple of quid each, that's it. So it's like, I'm sure even if you bought like, you know, CTS ones or Switchcraft ones, they're only going to be a fiver, and if you're building guitars in a factory, they're only going to be £1. Just seems a bit silly them not being there. And so what I was thinking there was that gives you sort of thin, you know, sort of single coily sounds. It's this guitar isn't for that, although there is, I do find a perverse pleasure in playing like heavy metal on a telly, so I was thinking of playing, you know, the shadows on this. Might be quite good. But learn how to play the shadows first. Yeah, right, so it's back on humbucker mode. This I put in as a series parallel switch, so as normal, this guitar is wired, all this, the normal way would be parallel wired. Do you remember from physics, it's like when you get the 2 light bulbs, remember that? And then if you put them in series, it puts them both, it goes into one and out the side of that, into the other one, and then back out again. So this is parallel. That's series. I'm standing in front of the amp. Parallel. Series. Also, obviously the differences in these things are quite subtle when you're sitting playing uncontrolled and the guitar's not 100% in tune and I've not learnt anything. If you stick the quality down here to 720, the sound quality ramps up a bit. If you're watching it at like 360, my videos all sound shite, so not they sound shite anyway, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so bitch. I should really make a note of BC Rich guitars. You've probably seen in my videos if you bothered going any further into them. They go back quite a bit. I've had quite a few BC Riches over the years. Quite a lot of, well, there are a couple at least, Warlock Bronze series, which I always thought the Warlock looked really cool, and it's got the Widow headstock, which is kind of like Conan the Barbarian's helmet type thing. It's totally cool. They're actually pretty good guitars. You can pick them up really cheaply. I bought a couple, you know, sort of 50 quid-ish. You know, you get them with a couple of bits missing or something like that. If you know what you're doing like me, you just, I've got a parts box, so you get 20 or 30 quid off it because it's got a machine head broken, and I've got a box of machine heads. So it's like, you know, that sort of thing. I think I put silly pickups in them as well, you know, like switches and stuff. They're actually quite good guitars. They all seem to be black. I don't like black guitars. I like this colour. But there's, see this NJ series, the Japanese ones. They're a different league. I'm sorry for some of the other videos of all the BC Rich fans out there. They're fine. I mean, I played, what was it, Mockingbird ST. I had one. If you look at my videos, actually someone commented on it yesterday, the one with all the switches on it. I was explaining what the switches do. And it's like, yeah, it's fine, it's a nice guitar, and very expensive for what you get. I mean, it is neck through, which you can, looking at it, it looks fantastic, but I mean, neck through doesn't make any difference, let's be honest. I do have neck through guitars, and obviously if you're going to, if I'm showing off, I go for, right, you want to check this one, you know, it's like, oh look, it's neck through, that's great. But really all it does is, it gives you slightly better access when you're playing it up here, but you know what it's like when you get up here anyway, you know, there's not really that much you can actually do. And if you're good enough to be playing up here, that doesn't get in the way. It's fine. But there's obviously people are going to argue that it's better for sustain and all that. Maybe it is. But it doesn't make the difference in relation to how much it costs extra. Put it that way. Saying that, I do actually one of my other BC Rich NJ ones. My bich wave is neck through. It's in bits. I need to get it back together again. This is kind of put me back into the BC Rich mood. Yeah, so if you're, so that's me now got three. The three I've kept. The other ones didn't. I had a blue Warlock, which was a platinum series. Can't remember, a Korean one, and it was nice. It looked fantastic, but it just wasn't anything. You know, it's like if you compare it to like modern guitars, see your top of the range Epiphones and PRS SE, things of that sort of ilk, you know, sort of Samick Korea ones. They're very well nice and they look very nice, but they're great, but they're not the same quality as, I'm talking, you know, I'm now, because I've got so many guitars, I'm kind of comparing them to as good as a guitar can be, and a lot of these sort of Japanese guitars are pretty much arguably as good as an American Strat or a Fender or you know, Gibson or anything like that. They're that league, maybe not as good, but they're that league, they're top notch. That's a disadvantage, I would also argue, was pretty much top notch. They're going for a wee bit of the gay colour scheme this month for some reason. But it's nice. It's nice. So I'll move on. I've got another couple of videos I might do today. I can't help but buying guitars, they just keep coming at me. This wasn't one I chose. When I say chose, I wasn't out specifically looking for a BC Rich NJ bich. I always quite like the bich shape. I always quite fancy the one that's got the 4 extra tuners on here, because it's a 10 string. Always fancied that, although I wouldn't have put 10 strings on it. I don't really, it doesn't double up the thick too. I would just put 12 on, fuck it. But there you go. So now I've got one, I might make one at a kitchen worktop by drawing around this and fitting it in. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so BC Rich NJ series. If you see any NJ series, go for it. Actually, my pal Aaron, hello, cheers, highlighted this to me on the Facebook buy and sell Glasgow page. You know, it was a couple of days old. It was like no one had bought it. And I was like, as soon as I saw it, the guy had it out sitting in his driveway, you know, strings running on it, and it was just like, it was that colour, and it's, look at the shape. It was like, fuck, I'm having that. Also notice, see, the Japanese ones are not quite the right shape. This bit here is thinner. A normal bich is out here somewhere. I think the Japanese just kind of made up their own shapes. I think my Mockingbird suffers a wee bit from that as well, and the Wave does as well. The Wave doesn't have extra, it's got extra bits not on it. Yeah. So, rock and roll. This isn't a for sale video. That's just getting kept. Some of them you just kind of go, never really seen another one, and when you buy them broken, you know, it's like things like the damaged headstock is going to knock a huge chunk off what this guitar's worth. Doesn't make it play any different or anything like that. Doesn't make it any worse. It just ruins the value of it. So at least I don't have to worry about breaking the headstock again on this one. Yeah. So A3 bich. Rock and roll.